statue of the Queen released today in Antrim in Belfast. Just quite extraordinary thing in Northern Ireland. Let's park that horror story to one side. People have said, well, the Queen would never have done it. Interestingly, towards the end of her life, the Queen started doing some stuff, the Paddington Bear film, the Daniel Craig thing, things we would never have expected her to ever deign to do. She was beginning to relax herself in terms of the kind of content she was prepared to put out, recognising that in this kind of Instagram-friendly world we now live in, if you want to get to the eyeballs you want to get to preserve the monarchy, you maybe got to get in this game a bit.
Yes, but if the point of this video was to control the narrative, which is what we hear a lot about, don't we? I have to say I'm confused, because when I watched the video, I was befuddled. I couldn't understand the words I was hearing with then what I was seeing. What I was seeing was, as you said yourself, Piers, something that was very well produced, very slick, very polished. And it was almost like a show, because on the one hand, we had George going up to the camera in his cute, cheeky way and saying, is this rolling? Well, we know it's rolling, and we know that you've got 6 cameramen standing behind you, etc. And on top of that, honest to God, when I finished watching it, I wanted to know who the producer was, because I assumed that this was an Archwell production, because this looked like a Harry and Meghan.
It was that bad, you mean?
Well, I'm not suggesting that that's why you might think it was bad. I'm saying that it was very glossy, very California, very let's run barefoot in the sand. And that, to me, didn't represent what the message I understood
someone posted on X, as Liz Jones reported, this isn't what cancer looks like. Other sufferers will feel, well, I'm doing it all wrong. Others commented, why are the wardrobe changes, the soft music, the slow motion? Yeah. It was intended to show they're a happy family, but you have to try this hard, ...
Hang on, for 1 minute. Let's just cut the woman some slack. We were like braying animals at the bars when she released a homespun photograph with a little bit of tweaking here and there.
Yeah.
So can you blame her for going all out schmaltz and taking a leaf out of the Oh So Californian book? To be fair, I totally understand why this was choreographed to within 1 inch of its life. It's what we asked for.
But then compare it with the video that we had at the end of March, forgive me if I'm incorrect about that date, when Kate had to, sadly, she was forced, she was pushed into telling us that very personal detail about her cancer journey.
Again, that was soft focus, daffodils waving.
But it was her. In this video, Piers, I didn't see Catherine. What I saw was something that felt like an actress using the words of Catherine. And that I thought was very interesting, because, as I said, I wondered whether this was about having some kind of polished, controlling the narrative exercise, rather than Catherine being able to say, everyone, I've made it through this very difficult hurdle and I'm on to the next stage. I would also question some of the wording that was used. For example, I'm here holding your hand, other cancer sufferers. I would have thought we would have seen that. I would have thought we would have seen Catherine.
You mean literally see her with other cancer patients?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but see, OK, but I would take issue with that, because when I read that last line, I thought what I liked about it, and we'll come to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex element of this, but everything they do, in my opinion, and we can argue about this, is self-aggrandising. It's to promote themselves. It's to do, whatever they want to do.
This all was the charity work. This was work with Invictus.
This was a princess laying herself bare and saying, "I understand that there are a lot of people out there with cancer, and I just want you to know that I'm metaphorically here with you. That's why I'm doing this. I want to shine a light on cancer and everything else." I thought that was powerful. Isn't that actually the duty and role of the monarchy? Is that the senior players do, even though we know they live in palaces, we know they have servants, we know they have all the trinkets, ultimately they put a kind of metaphorical arm around and say, we're with you. They're like the country's comfort blanket.
I totally agree. And that was the issue. That was the juxtaposition for me, because I was hearing these words and I was confused as to, OK, I mean, I've got family members who have thankfully survived their cancer journeys. It didn't look anything like that. And that's not to say that Catherine's journey needs to look like my family member's journey or anybody else's
Tom, let me bring in Tom. Is that a fair...
No, because you don't know what the journey was like. I mean,
I'm accepting
what
that.
we're seeing is the end of the journey, so to speak. And, you know, she wanted to reintroduce herself to the public. I thought it was very, very wonderful to see the happy family. I think they have to appeal to the youth of Britain, who are not natural monarchists. They wanted to show that they were a happy family again. And what's the alternative? That she should sit and do a piece to camera, po-faced? I mean, how should she...
Well, to not pander.
But what about... I have seen the criticism that if she talked about holding the hands of everyone who's got cancer, maybe having some footage of her actually with other people.
Another time. You know, she clearly hasn't got over it. She's got through the chemotherapy. There's a lot more to go.
It'll be 5 years before any doctor says...
You're out of remission. Exactly. All she wanted to do was say, I'm back. Last time she did it with the photo, she was criticised. She's criticised whatever she does. That's the terrible thing about this discussion. She can't get it right for some people.
But actually...
For me, she can only get it right because she is the future of the monarchy. And if that is the way she is advised to reintroduce herself, if that is the way in which, in this beautiful film, schmucky but lovely, that is the way to...
Funny enough, I think it was all from her. I just got the real feeling she wasn't advised to do it this way. She decided...
Well, she chooses her advisors. And her advisors give her what she wants and then translate it into that film. I think that's fine. I think, you know, she has got to imagine, and I think this is right from her point of view, she's got to take the monarchy on to the next stage. She's got to anticipate that there's a whole new 2 generations.
And young people, you know, the monarchy's getting slightly less popular, right, as the years go by.
It's bombed out.
Well, it's getting slightly less popular. They are the big stars of this royal family. All the polls show that William and Kate are the top 2 most popular by a mile in this country, and that, you know, the bottom 3, Prince Andrew, Harry, Meghan.
I didn't put them,
I didn't put them there. They're there because of their behaviour, as I've tried to tell you. You can't kid the public for that long. So
if the public are being given one particular piece of information,
but let's remind
and that particular piece of information is being repeated consistently.
Well, I think people get judged on their own actions, actually.
Well, if they did get judged on their own actions...
Let's come to them in a moment. I want to make a point, though, Tessa, about this. That the King still has cancer. We don't know how serious that is. He's been seen out and about. But, you know, you're 75, you've got cancer. That's pretty serious. So we don't know how long he will be with us. I mean, I hope for a very long period of time. But if, God forbid, you know, he suddenly deteriorated and wasn't with us, William is suddenly propelled to be the king of his country. And Kate will be his queen. And the future of the monarchy, as Tom said, rests on their shoulders.
But I actually thought, and I want to go back to the set dressing, timeless England, a forest, the ancient oak. This idea of a land that will endure irrespective of who monarchy is. And we see several options. We see young George. Oh, he talks. Oh, he's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We see William loving his wife, sickly or otherwise. And Charles is in the background. This is about the future and beyond. What disturbed me slightly, and here there were echoes with American Riviera Orchard, is the way in which the 2 leading female protagonists, Kate and Meghan, are taking us way back when to the 1950s. Meghan with her mixing bowl and flowers, Kate skipping through cornfields, this sort of fecund mother, you know, making a recovery just to be loving and loved, and maybe a little bit of light work. And actually, I don't think that is representative of the standard woman who gets cancer, who's a mother and who's also having to bushfight on other fronts. And I think I wanted something that spoke to modern women today, and neither of our Meghan or Kate
do you want a shot of her in hospital getting the tablet, the chemotherapy tablet?
No, but it was very old-fashioned. It
wasn't old-fashioned. It wasn't old-fashioned because the Queen would never have done it. It was very modern, and she showed a modern family. I don't know what you mean about the journey. She's gone through it. She's clearly had the most horrendous time, and she wants to show some hope. And I think that's what the country wants. They want to see that the royal family offers hope again, is back in business, so to speak. It isn't terminal, as it was appeared 6 months ago.
Well, I agree. And let's mention the second part of this, which is literally 90 minutes. I was over 100 minutes. It was 100 minutes later. Netflix drop a promo for the new Archewell Productions documentary series about polo. And up it came on everyone's social media. And look, there's three things you could say about this in terms of what was behind this. One, it was a complete and utter coincidence that 100 minutes after this major revelation and announcement and film from Kensington Palace, by pure chance, Netflix, Meghan and Harry decide that is the moment to promote a series that doesn't air until December. The chances of that, I would say, are No Hope and Bob Hope. And Bob Hope has been dead for many years. Secondly, they did it to draw attention away from their rival palace, from the sibling that Harry hates and doesn't talk to, from the sister-in-law that Meghan hates and doesn't talk to, and vice versa. Or that thirdly, they wanted to, and this is probably my preferred theory, they wanted to capitalise on all the publicity around the Kate announcement by saying, boom, by the way, don't forget about us. Now, interestingly, Paula, you might recoil in horror because you never like to be you never like to be brought too closely to reality with these two.
Wow.
About just how cynical they can be. But interestingly, it completely bombed. The next day's papers barely mentioned at all this Polo series, nor did any other publications I saw around the world. It was all front page on Kate and William, Kate and William. Why do they do this kind of thing?
Well,
and the moment Netflix did it, even if it was an accident, why wouldn't the first thing you would do is ring them and say, please take that down, that's just going to backfire?
Well, I'm going to suggest that you're incredibly cynical when it comes to Harry and Meghan.
Very, very
and
cynical.
anything they do.
Yes,
and
with good reason.
And I'm also going to suggest that your grasp on reality, because of your cynicism, means that it's waning. Let's be honest, Piers, because the fact is, you know that when you come to market a show, it is done months in advance. This is not about Harry and Meghan.
Do you think it was pure coincidence?
This is not about... No, I don't think it was coincidence. I think the date...
Deliberate?
No. I think the date had always been set for when Netflix were going to first advert. Of course.
You want to take a bet on that?
And I can give you an example.
You want to bet on that?
No, I don't, because I don't know.
No, you don't.
No, but can I give you an example?
Even a pound?
Can I give you an example?
Don't.
Can I give you an example?
Because you know it's nonsense.
Work with me with my example. Bear with me. Control the cynicism. I am going to be in a show. That show does not come out until October. It was advertised from April of this year.
Yeah. That's not my point.
Yes, it is.
Let me bring in Tom for a reality check.
Yes, it is, because
Tom, you and I have been around the media block a little longer than young Paula. Hope you don't mind me calling you that. I'm sure you love it.
I'm very happy.
Everything's relative.
Tom, is there any world in which this just happened by chance?
Not. They were someone heard about it. He said, because the only raison d'etre of the Sussexes is to capitalise on their royal connections.
Right.
And the royal connections have got to be to associate themselves with the British royal
family. But what
family.
does it say about them that they would be happy for this promotion to go out within 2 hours of such a personal film about cancer from Kate?
They are just remorseless, selfish, false, ghastly couple who only believe in promoting themselves because that, in the end, is their only source of money. And what is very interesting in all this, which has never got commented on, that when Harry came back to England for Robert Fellowes' his uncle's funeral 2 weeks ago, he didn't go up to see his father.
No, stay with Earl Spencer.
But he could have gone up to Scotland. I mean, the man who dashed over when it was all announced, he forgot about his dad. And so the whole thing is always
And also, he managed to come and go without any threat to his life.
No threat to his
in
life.
relation to this ongoing
Everything
security
about
nonsense.
the Sussexes is so contrived, so self-interested, so unbelievably appalling that one can only imagine that they really wish Kate and William ill.
Yes.
That's the real
my
problem.
goodness me. I think that's very unfair.
Just levelled the accusation of Harry and Meghan as being contrived in the same breath as you admit Kate can basically do what she likes, and yes, you said it was schmaltzy, etc., i.e. highly contrived.
Here's the difference.
So in other words, Kate can be as contrived as she likes, but Harry and Meghan can't.
Tessa, here's the difference. Kate's film is about her cancer.
Her truth. Her truth.
No,
but it is her truth.
No.
It's her version.
It's not about her truth.
Her
she has cancer.
Yes.
She's not inventing it.
No, I'm not suggesting she
When people
is.
talk about my truth, it normally means it's not the truth.
No, but
there is the truth. It's not her truth.
It's part of the story.
No, it's not. It's a fact she has cancer, OK?
But we don't know what cancer.
And it's a fact she's had chemotherapy. Okay. We know a lot more about what's happened to her than we normally do about royal health issues. But here's the difference. She's making no money out of this.
Oh,
she makes... Well, hang on, let me finish my point. This is a very personal thing about her health because she's the future queen and we've been demanding to know. Meghan and Harry's video, or their promo for their documentary, is a pure money-making exercise, trading off their royal titles to fill their coffers with yet more ill-gotten cash. That's why Tom and I are so cynical about it, because we see right through it.
Now, I don't know how you get on with basic arithmetic, but since the late Queen acceded to the throne, followed by Charles, the value of the Duchy of Lancaster and the Duchy of Cornwall put together, and William now, of course, is a Duke over the Duchy of Cornwall, has increased in value 16-fold. 1.6 billion pounds worth of profit.
So what?
Exempt of capital gains, exempt of corporation, which, by the way, would cover holus bolus the entire winter fuel duty. It's not nonsense.
It is.
Tom, it is 100.
What's your point? What's your point?
My point is, Kate does not have to worry about money. Well, and in fact, after we've experienced the Labour budget, which I think will attack inherited wealth, the only people who will be entirely untouched by New Reality Britain will be the royal family.
What does that have to do with what Meghan and Harry did?
Because you have accused them of trying to make money and Kate not trying to make money.
Because let me just say something. Because they said when they left England that they wanted nothing to do with the royal family.
Correct.
They said that they were going to look for their privacy and look for a completely solitary life in California.
Right.
And then all they've done since reaching California is attach themselves to the royal family with their phony tours.
Well, they've done two things. They've attached themselves to the royals as much as they can to profit from being royals, whilst at the same time relentlessly attacking the members of the royal family and the monarchy.
But you've just accused them of leeching onto the royal family, and then in the same breath, 2 seconds ago, you said, and he didn't even go to Balmoral to see his father.
I remember Harry's leaving.
That's not contradictory at all.
That
is not a contradiction.
I remember Harry's leaving very different from yours.
Either he cares about his father or he doesn't. Yeah. And the whole point about this...
So what about his father saying that he didn't have time in his diary to see him?
Well, because the whole thing was contrived by Harry. He wasn't going to be a puppet.
You know why, Paula?
Harry's
I'm told on very good authority, I won't say who told me this, that there are the vast majority now of the royal family, almost all of them, almost without exception, don't want to have anything to do with Meghan and Harry because they don't trust them not to repeat what they tell them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you as a fact.
Let's go back to the question, which was about Harry and Meghan being able to earn money. My memory of Harry leaving is very different from yours, Tom. My memory of Harry and Meghan leaving was that Harry had asked if he could do certain things and stay as a member of the royal family. And I understand that he was not able to stay as a member of the royal family and do those things.
You're not unique to you. Everyone knows that.
He had to leave.
He didn't have to leave.
Yes,
he did not have to leave.
He could have stayed and done his duty.
He could have stayed and done his duty.
He didn't.
Which is, by the way, what goes with the royal title.
So that he didn't feel that Meghan was safe. So he had to leave.
That's nonsense.
And when he made the decision to leave, and Tom, with respect, I allowed you to speak, and you're now
she was literally in downtown Bogota last month.
I'll wait for you to finish.
Not safe to come to the UK, but fine to go to Colombia.
I'll wait for you to finish.
Do me a favour.
Well, I didn't see the paparazzi hounding her in Colombia
or
in Nigeria.
Where do you think the pictures
She also went to Nigeria. Are you mocking Colombia and Nigeria?
Tell me what I'm mocking. The fact that they think they're entitled to do rival royal tours, which only promote them when they do zero royal duty
My understanding
for the monarchy.
Nigeria was about Invictus
on behalf of this country. Nothing.
And that's why
it's
they were
all for
invited
themselves.
to
it's
go.
all for themselves.
But coming back to the money point, because I think this is really important, because you hear this all the time. So he left his family, as many people do in difficult circumstances. They make the decision to leave their family.
No problem.
What do you expect him to do to earn money?
Not trade off the institution he trashes.
Money. Yes.
Not trade off the institution he trashes. They damage the monarchy. Every time they do something, they damage the monarchy. And yet they want to, at the same time, trade off the royal titles.
You're giving him the power to say that he
I would take away their power. I would remove their titles.
No, if
I was King Charles, take the titles away. Try your luck as Harry and Meghan, regular Joes.
What is the
Duke and Duchess of Sussex, members of the royal family?
That you are saying that he has done to the royal family?
Lied. From what Winfrey onwards.
No, I'm not saying what you're saying he did. I'm saying what is the damage? Because you have to accept...
Because they lie about the royal family.
No, the damage. Let's focus on that word, because you accept
Let me give
that
you an
they
example.
are not popular
Let me give you an
with the
example.
younger
Let me
population.
give you an example.
I would like to explain
What about
the damage.
calling them a bunch of callous racists without any evidence?
The damage
Where
they've done.
is the damage? What is the damage?
What about through the Commonwealth, the damage for calling them racist?
The damage. Can I explain what I perceive to be Piers and Tom
The
from a
issue
different
about
generation?
colonialism goes far further than Harry and Meghan.
But
Piers,
they said
you
it
know
wasn't
that.
true.
Where is the
Far
evidence
further
for the
than that.
racism? There isn't any.
These two old crusties, what they love more than anything in the world
crusties, wow.
is the monarchy.
Surprised you
And
didn't call us
Harry
white
and Meghan
crusties.
turned their backs on the monarchy, the Britain's beloved monarchy, and that has wounded dinosaurs
Tessa.
like Piers and Tom.
Tessa.
They're not allowed freedom of choice.
Tessa.
That is the truth,
Tessa.
Paula. They're not allowed to
And
make
only
it.
they-
You want them to be like Sophie and Edward.
Tessa.
You know, they couldn't make it in the media world, so they became the
Actually,
beautiful
hugely
Duke and
admiring of
Duchess.
Sophie and Edward's
I know,
work ethic.
and I am
Work
too.
ethic
And I'm too.
on
but-
behalf of the country.
But why
yes.
should Harry and Meghan have to be like them?
Because they didn't leave the monarchy.
And they lied.
If they had left the monarchy and given up their titles and gone and been celebrities in California, no problem. Right? It's the fact they want to have their royal cake and eat it.
You want them
they
to
want to be royals while dumping
No,
on the royals.
They are royals.
Dumping
It's not
on
that
the
they
monarchy.
want to be. Let's be clear. They are royals, and what you want them to do is to scurry and hide underneath
I
the
want them
rock.
to stop lying.
They
I
are
want
not
them to
going to
stop
do
lying and
that.
stop
Stop
trashing
lying.
the royal family.
But they haven't lied recently. All they've
Recently?
done is
Oh my God!
No, let's be
Oh
clear.
my God!
Let's be
And by the
clear.
way, what about this priceless nugget to end on? People magazine, which is one of the most gossipy magazines in the world, America's #1 gossip magazine, today did a post on X, in which they said that Prince Harry had emailed them his personal thoughts about his 40th birthday.
Is
which
that your source?
On Sunday.
The People magazine?
Here's my thoughts. Prince Privacy, the guy who sues every publication he can think of for invading his privacy, is now emailing America's #1 gossip magazine to give them all the inside lowdown on his 40th birthday. You literally couldn't make it up.
We're talking about misleading here. Piers, come on.
Yeah,
he was
we are.
asked a question and he responded to the question.
He personally emailed People magazine.
Okay, so how was he going
It's
to
like me
respond?
saying, I really want my privacy. By the way, I'm just emailing the National Enquirer to let them know what I'm doing for my birthday. Do me a favour!
He hasn't stopped.
All right, we got to leave it.
So
We've got to leave
angry.
it there. But lovely
Angry.
to see you all. I'm not
Angry.
angry. You know what I'm angry about?
Angry, you're
I'm angry.
bitter.
I'm angry that even
And
though the
cynical.
polls show how unpopular they are because of the way they behave, you two are the last two standing.
You
No, we're
have
not.
done
Still
a good,
defending
you have
the
done a
indefensible.
good
You dragged
job.
the Sussexes
You
onto the
have done a
table and
good
talked
job.
about them. We could have
You've
stuck
done
with
a good
Kate.
Kate's cancer video, I know what we'll do. We'll stick out our promo for our polo series. Wow. OK, thank you all very much. Great to see you all, especially after the long, boring summer without you. Thank you very much.